Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Khalil Jakada. This week I have a petroleum production engineer and an assistant lecturer here in Nile University with me today. I would like to welcome Khadija Ibrahim to the studio.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for taking the time out to do this, even due to the short notice. Without wasting much time, how did you decide to get into sciences from secondary school?
Well, I think for me it was a very quick decision. Growing up, I always wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
So that just motivated my choice of course. So I just basically went on from JS and I decided to pick science. That was it.
Didn't you feel like it was going to be hard or something? Like,
No.
There was no sense of hesitation
I
whatsoever?
know. I'm not somebody who hesitates. So if I hesitate, then it means I shouldn't even start from the beginning.
Growing up, what were your aspirations? You mentioned you wanted to be a medical doctor. Was that?
Yes, that was like the frontline goal.
Okay.
But then subsequently, seeing how the world was changing, and of course, destiny.
Yeah.
So during my JAM registration, we were asked to pick, okay, what do you want to actually study in university? And I went on to say, oh, I want to study pharmacy. And when I went for the post-UTME, it happened that the school went on strike.
Okay.
And thankfully for me then, I don't know, God works in a miraculous way. Yeah, and then I just got invited to Nile to have an interview, and I went on to study what I
So
have today.
coming into Nile, how
Yeah.
did you choose your course?
Well, I'll tell you, like, it's all destiny, yeah?
Okay.
When Nile was in session, I was already processing for another university.
Okay.
So we got called in to say, oh, you should come in for a scholarship interview. And I said, why not? Like, we should give it a try. And I did that. And due to, like, those people I look up to, one of them, who is currently a lecturer in Nile, Ms. Rukaya, she was studying computer science. So as of the time, I was like, I want to be like her. So I wanted to study computer science.
Okay.
But when I came for the registration, and you have like courses, okay, electrical, at the time we only had 3 courses in natural and applied sciences, which is chemistry, computer science, and electrical electronics. So I just went on to pick chemistry. So I don't know.
That was bold.
Exactly, like,
okay.
and I never liked chemistry.
Wow.
So trust me when I say, it was after I picked that course, and I was like, why didn't I go for what I wanted to go for? But the deal has been done already, so yes.
I see. That's an interesting story. Initially, like, there's a transition phase, like, from secondary school into university. How did you find it difficult coming into Nile, or was the environment and setting that suitable for you? Was it easy going transitioning into Nile?
I think because before I came into Nile, I was already familiar with Nile. I usually come in for programs from my secondary school.
I see.
So, and I knew a lot of people already. So blending in wasn't a hard thing for me to do. And I'm very much, I have a strong adaptability skill. So it wasn't like I had to stay for long. And even the education setting, that's when it comes to the standard too, was something I was already familiar with. So it didn't really take much for me to.
There's how classes go on in secondary school and how they go on. There's a bit of a difference. What about that kind of?
Let me see. I think the most amazing thing for me was I found it fascinating that I could have probably just one course in a day.
Yeah.
Or if after lectures I can decide okay, I'm just going home, I'm not going to stay for the next lecture. But during secondary school life, you have to attend all through those courses. And with the amount of people like I've been able to interact with, I think they played like a key role in defining my objectives coming into the school. Because when I came in, I just wanted to make good grades. That was it. But then subsequently, like during my second semester, I was like, oh, I actually need to know what I'm doing and follow up on it. So yeah, I think
in terms of extracurricular activities, what sort of things did you do?
Well, I'm not really an out there person. I could look or seem that way.
I was about to say you seem to be very extroverted, but I just decided not to.
Yes, but I'm more when I was in, let's say, 100 200 level, funny enough, I didn't really have much interaction with my classmates. It was more like, oh, I came to school, so I just come to school, do what I want to do, and go back home, and that was it. But I realized if you don't interact with people, you don't really get to understand what the world is all about. If it's just school and there's nothing else happening around you,
you're
then
missing out on
so much. So, and thankfully enough, because I grew up within the Turkish setting, so we were able to have extra curricular. So it's either, oh, we're going for Islamic conversations, or you're having charity organizations, or it's just basically you're going for picnics. So they had so much. My university days were like the most amazing time of my life. So
how about in terms of student bodies? Did you engage in SRC?
No, the SRC came up like a few years into so most of our pioneers were like our seniors. So they were the ones like trying to set everything up, and also we're just like followers. Whatever they say, we follow. If it was the time where we have to speak on the curfew time, we'll just go with them, and that's it. But I wasn't really like involved in any leadership position. I don't even have interest in all.
In terms of striking a balance between school workload and, like you mentioned, having a social life, which we said is important, how were you able to kind of manage?
I think everything has a time slated for it. So as much as we have school, we have 24 hours in a day, so you have time to sleep, you have time to go to school, time to eat, time to pray. So basically our life during school was a routine. It's like you wake up in the morning, come to school, after the lectures you go back home, try to like go through what you've been taught, then you have your personal life. Then the next day it goes on again. So it was basic. I think the only time we only have like things to do to ourselves is during the weekend. I try as much as possible to say that the weekend is not for school. It's for myself to try to
personal development.
Try to develop myself in so many ways. And I'm somebody that loves traveling, so you always see me going up and down like that. So
you went further and got a master's. Why?
Let's say initially my aim of having a master's is, she's done with university, why not further your education? You have what it takes to do so. And along the line, I kind of like motivated myself to say, okay, if anybody can make a first class at the time, okay, why not? And getting a first class during that time in Nile, you are entitled to 100% scholarship. So I was like, okay, why not to get that first class? And if I'm able to get a master's, I'm very passionate about academics. So even if I'm able to balance up being a master's student and also it was service time.
Yeah.
So there were so many things to balance up, but thankfully I was able to get a grip of it. I went on to do my master's here in Nile.
Yeah.
And just along when I was trying to finish up, then another scholarship opportunity came up, and
We'll talk about that in a bit. Talk about mentioned service. Where did you do your service, and how did you find the experience? Kind of like, I think you also do a bit of IT while you're studying.
Right.
So you have a bit of working experience. In terms of like, how did you also transition into from being a student to having to wake up to go to work, and knowing that like what you do matters to the like larger organization?
I think because for me, like I said, everything just looks planned out. Right after we finished, that was when we were mobilized for service, and I already had a plan to do my master's. So I was like, okay, I prayed to God. I was like, yeah Allah, whatever it is, I want Abuja. And I just don't want Abuja, I want Nile University. I wasn't looking out for like going to all this like as a petroleum chemist, for you to go to maybe NNPC or DPR to do that. But I just wanted to make sure that I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. So during the morning to evening time, I do my work, which is my service. Then right when it's 5 o'clock, I have to go to class. So, but it's like the most amazing. I think having to risk it, because at that point there were some people that are like, oh, you're not supposed to do that, or maybe if you do it, you might have a later implication to that. But trust me, I don't listen to people. Whatever I want to do, I just go straight to it, and alhamdulillah,
no issues so far.
It turned out perfectly well.
In terms of being armored and having the necessary skills for your first masters, how I mean, obviously you did it, in Nile as well.
Right.
Was it easygoing? I mean, were you well equipped from your undergraduate to do the masters? Did you find it challenging or not? Of course, it was challenging.
Trust me, like I love challenges.
Okay.
And for some reason, it wasn't challenging at all. It was like I just went from should I say from shallow to shallow. It was just like very straight. So immediately I came into class, it was the same set of people I've known. For me, my comfort zone makes me, even though in some other ways we think comfort zones draws you backward, but in some other ways it's more like you blend in easily, so you find things very easy for you. So once I came in, the first class I had was Dr. Ayuba. I'm like, oh, he actually taught me like some time ago, and that was it. I just went on to get accustomed to it.
Coming into your second masters, I mean, why?
Okay, I've always been fond of when I say, oh, I meet this person and the person tells me that they a petroleum engineer. So I wanted to explore, like, even if it's just for me to go on a short course, like what exactly is this petroleum engineering that everyone is being talking highly of. So initially I wanted to go to AUST and to apply there, but then an opportunity came. I just sat down one day and I was like, let me apply to one particular trust
program
organization, and I forgot about it. I went on to continue with my other master program. And one day when the list was out, of course, one of my sisters checked and she was like, Khadija, your name is there. I'm like, when did I even apply for this? So it started off like a dream, and everything was so fast, like the application, the admission, the visa, whatever, and boom, I was gone where I was. So yeah, I think it was just destiny.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, in terms of, to be specific, your second master's was in petroleum production.
Right.
I mean, here's the thing: everyone is saying oil is finishing. Why did you still feel the need to get into oil?
Well, I hear that a lot. Like they say, the fossil fuels are going to finish probably in the next 20 years, or 30, 2050, which they say. But the thing is, we have a very vast land and water. So these days, except we get lazy, or we don't get to have those technologies that would explore exactly. But we have so much in abundance, and at some point in time you even hear them say, oh, they're shutting the well, but they still have a lot more there. They're just reluctant, or they don't want to spend. These things work hand in hand. Exactly. So yeah, I just went on with it.
You're obviously now in academia. Was that the goal, or it was the Nigerian
I could say in the academic environment, but in as much as I'm here, I still want to explore.
I understand.
So I'm still giving it a try to see what is out there.
Okay.
So it shouldn't just be class to class or paper to paper.
Yeah.
I've learned that people with experience teach more because they see from imaginations, or should I say not imagination, what they've seen out there, that's what they teach. So yes, I would definitely want to give it one more
in terms of, you mentioned, first degree, second degree, another second degree. I mean, as a lady, there's a lot of pressure for you to once typically, most especially in the northern part, it's like once before you even finish, there's sort of that kind of pressure from the family. Did you ever have that experience?
Well, like I said, I don't listen, and one thing I am most thankful for to my parents is the fact that they made me have a mind of my own. As much as people will advise me, I'll sit down to think, okay, what is it that I want? So, and I have very supportive family, and I just go to my guardian and tell him, okay, this is what I want to do. And he's like, have you prayed over it? I'll be like, yes. He'll be like, go ahead. That's it.
Yeah.
So when I was traveling, like, as a Muslim northern woman, traveling out alone is like one of the most impossible things you can be allowed to do. But honestly, I was also surprised, because when I wanted to go tell my uncle at the time, oh, I got this scholarship and I'm supposed to travel, I had to pray like 2 weeks. And then I met his wife. I told her, okay, this is what I want to tell your husband. Are you sure he's not going to say anything? She was like, just go ahead and tell him. And trust me, when I said it, he was like the happiest person, and he was supportive all through. And even when I was there, they would always call me, oh, are you sure you did this, you did that? So it's more like when guardians or parents trust their kids, the kids know their boundary. So if they know that they won't cross that, that's it.
I mean, we could sit and talk for hours, but time is... What does the future hold now?
Well, I see myself... I recently was asked this question in an interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or, the general question. And I'm actually wondering, in 5 years, that's like 2026. I should have had experience in the field that I want, and which is, of course, going offshore, probably being a senior manager somewhere.
Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.